Hi everyone, welcome back to the Gaku 101 podcast. I'm Mizuki.
And I'm Aira.
This podcast, we mainly talk about people's struggles when it comes to studying abroad or language learning, and we kind of answer questions or answer some of you guys' struggles and stuff like that. And it seems we know the answers for every single problems or struggles and stuff like that, but that's not true. We're also human. We're also human beings. We have our own struggles and hardships. So we thought we can maybe talk about our struggles when it comes to language learning or things that we want to improve. Cause we're still, just because we're talking about how we learn languages and stuff like that doesn't mean that we're still doing it. We're still on our journey. So maybe we can share our struggles and you guys can relate to them or, stuff like that. So do you have anything to kick off? Doesn't have to be struggles, but things that you maybe want to improve a little bit more or yeah.
It's such a big topic to start, I guess. But I still can have confidence in my English, So that's one of the biggest struggle. It's not I'm struggling, but I always think that I still don't have confidence in my English level, and yeah.
Same.
Do you?
It's not I don't know how to put it into words. It's not I'm struggling. It's not I'm constantly thinking about it. But if you want me to speak at a conference or something like that, I'll be no, I'm not good enough. I can do this because it's a podcast and we're just doing this privately and I can be myself and I don't know if you guys noticed, but I don't really use big words. My vocab is not really that advanced. I seem like I can speak English fluently, which I can, and this is enough. I don't need to be better at it, but yeah, I get it. I do struggle with confidence when it comes to some situations. I'm I don't think I can be an interpreter for that reason. I'm not confident enough to do it on the spot. Yeah.
To be honest, I don't know how I can have confidence towards my English level. Even though I keep recording podcasts in English constantly, or if I have more projects that I'm gonna use English in my work, I don't think I can have enough confidence, even though I do have those chances, to speak English. So when I think about why I cannot have confidence in my English, so I thought that my standard or expectation of pera pera, the people who can speak English fluently is getting higher and higher year by year. So there's no ending towards improving my English and have confidence in my English. So I don't think I can never have confidence in my English.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm not even confident in my Japanese. I
that's a different story, I guess.
No, because
but that was funny that when you couldn't came out with 平日.
That's just どうする. That's not.
Oh, どうする and the vocab is different.
What did I say?
なんだっけ? 週中. 週中. That was do you mean 平日?
Yeah. No, but my family still makes fun of me, how childish my Japanese is. It's not I can't speak Japanese. Of course I'm fluent, but my Japanese is kind of the same with my English. I don't really have a lot of varieties when it comes to there's a way to say it informally, and then there's ruigo, that's more formal, or yojijukugo or kanji, right? And I don't really know that formal stuff. So I'm not really confident in my Japanese either. And I think that's the same. You never stop learning your native language either,
it's a very like basic thing, but like if you want to improve your English, like you have to like have more like phrases or like vocabs that you have to
or maybe you don't. As long as you're being able to communicate, I think that's like enough. And like maybe you don't really have a lot of like phrases in your book, but like being comfortable in your own language. Yeah, that might be like the focus. Like, of course, like when you're starting it out, you need to know phrases and vocab. So like you should start out by that. But as you get more advanced, maybe, because like I struggle with going from intermediate level to advanced. I don't consider myself as advanced. Like if you throw me into like a conference room full of like politician or like, you know, those like congressmen, I wouldn't understand anything. You know what I mean? So like I have a long way to go to get to that level, but I'm pretty I'm pretty like satisfied with where I am right now, but I'm not like confident.
Well, you know, the funny thing is like talking about like work. Sometimes I have like opportunity to speak English in front of like my clients or like other like conference. Then, as I said before, like I don't have that much like confidence in my English, but when it comes to like work situation, like I can act as a professional.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like if you can act confidence even when you're not. Like that's another skill.
Yeah. So I'm like faking myself and act like a professional in front of my clients.
I mean, I guess you have to. You can't be like, you know, you can't be.
I can't speak English. すみません.
Yeah. That's not an option, you know.
Yeah, my boss would kill me.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
maybe acting to, you know, cover up your like confidence could be another like skill, as you said. Yeah.
Monomane みたいな. Yeah, I get it. Because like when I watch like shows or movies, I kind of like act as if I'm them and like repeat the lines, if that makes sense. And that's kind of like monomane, you know? And I feel like that's how you learn attitudes. I don't know, like, you know, attitudes are something that you need to learn too, you know? It's part of the culture, I think. Japanese, I'm a little bit more, you know, polite and like, you know, ojigi and stuff like that. But like English, I think I appear a little bit more confident, which I'm not, but like, again, I'm just acting, you know? So like, yeah, that's a good point, I think. Yeah.
So that was one of the struggles that I'm having right now. And do you have any struggles or like concerns towards like English?
I wouldn't say this is important at all, but because I am a kikokushijo, like of course I can get a higher score, but as a kikokushijo, I'm not really satisfied with the scores that I get from like TOEIC or TOEIC. That's the only thing really. And like a lot of people kind of expect you to get a full score on TOEIC, which is like 999?
No, 990.
990. 990.
微妙. Okay, yeah.
My bad. 990. The last time I took was 940, which is not bad, right? But I don't know. I'm not satisfied with it because I know a lot of friends who aren't even kikokushijo that have gotten full score, and I kind of expect myself to get full score. I took one right after I came back from studying abroad, and that was like 930, I guess. And I took one like 2 years after I came back, and I was expecting at least like 960, but it was 940. So I was kind of disappointed in myself, even though like, you know, TOEIC scores, those like English language, なんて言うんだっけ? Proficiency score. those language it's a hard
Proficiency.
word. Proficiency exams aren't the most important thing, of course. Like, I don't rely on them at all. I know I'm good enough, but like, it's one way to kind of like prove that you're good enough, you know? And like, as a person, especially who shares content about language learning, that's one way to kind of prove yourself to the public that you're good enough too. And again, like 940 is good enough. Like, it's really good. I know that myself. But when I tell everyone that I have lived in the States for 4 years, and when they hear me, especially with my accent, I feel like people like expect more from me, which like I'm just putting pressure to myself. Like, no one told me that, you know. But I kind of like feel that kind of pressure to be like, I need full score.
I think you know it, but like exam is like totally different thing. Like there is a way to get like 990 like full score. You have to like study that way.
Yeah. Which I don't.
I think you're like, oh, I just came back from the States from studying abroad, so like I just can't get like like full score for sure. But exam is different. Like you have to study the way to get full score.
Yeah. Sorry, camera died. We're using an iPhone right now. But どこで話したっけ? I need to do some studying that's catered to TOEIC ね. I agree. It's not a struggle. It's just I need to study. The thing is, like, you know, like the episode that where we talked about, like, you know, the mindset to have when you're studying languages, I talked about like you need to find a studying style that works for you and like caters to you, you know. And for me, that's like, I don't know, writing vocabs or going through textbooks is not my way of studying. I never learned like that. So I guess that's why I'm really bad at tests. Because, you know, to some extent, you need to do some like desk study, right? So I guess I'm making excuses for myself, being like, well, I don't learn like that, you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some things you have to go out of your way to get out of your comfort zone and like try to learn differently. And like, I guess TOEIC and those tests are one of those things that you just have to suck it up. Yeah. Which sucks.
Maybe I should have taken TOEIC at least once.
You should. I'm surprised you've never took TOEIC.
Yeah.
It's annoying that it expires in 2 years, though.
Yeah, same as a TOEFL.
Yeah. TOEFL, I don't care about TOEFL. No one takes TOEFL voluntarily, you know.
Yeah. Because I didn't need like TOEIC for like anything, so many people are taking TOEIC to like see how much they improve.
Yeah, and also you need them to prove your English to like get into colleges or
some company requires TOEIC scores as well. Yeah, but since like I graduated from like U of T, like no one cares about my TOEIC score, and the company didn't like ask me to prove my English level. So maybe if I want to like, you know, change job, then I might need to take TOEIC.
It is one way to be confident, though. Confident in your language skills, I guess. It's not something that proves your skills. Not at all.
Yeah, but that's true, because you know what, the last time I took those English proficiency tests was when I was in high school for like college exams. So the TOEFL was like the last English proficiency test I took. So maybe I should take another one to like see how much I improved through those 4 years.
Yeah. So that's my ちょっとした悩み悩んではないけどIf I had to pick one struggle, then that's yeah. And another one is like, how can I level up to advanced level? You know, when you start out, it's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's easier to go from 0 to 10, or 10 to 100. But like as you get better at it, it's really hard to see your growth and be like, am I being better at it? Like I don't really feel it myself or see it myself. I'm not lost. I'm not like eager to get into that advanced level. I'm comfortable with my own English. So I'm not like, I need to learn more English, but it doesn't hurt to get better at it,
Yeah,
it would be nice to be better at it. So, cause like I admire people who can like interpret it. Interpreters, I admire them so much because I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it on the spot. There's too much pressure. It's not for me,
Yeah, like one time in my work, I have to do like dual like interpreter, 同時通訳, and then like my client like talked to me in English, and I interpret Japanese to another like Japanese client, and that Japanese client talked to me in Japanese, and I changed to English. Then my both English and Japanese are like getting awkward,
Yeah.
I was like, 今はですね。
これはですね。
Yeah, my Japanese are getting like more like
Americanized,
Yeah.
like Americanized. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. I've never done it, so I don't know how good I would be, but I don't think I'm good at it at all.
You'll be so panicked, you know?
I will.
Yeah. I don't want to do that anymore.
Be like,
yeah.
I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a big responsibility. So like I admire people that have different skills. Because like just because you're good at one language doesn't mean like you're good in every single skills, Like I would like to think that I'm pretty good at like speaking on the spot, like with no script, like a podcast. It's no pressure, so I can do that. But not everyone can do this, and not everyone can do other stuff. So I would love to expand my skill sets, I guess. Yeah.
So what kind of people you considered as like people whose English is as advanced?
How do you say this? Like, just because you can speak a language doesn't mean that you're catered to that language. Like, you can, if you've lived your whole life in Japan and have never explored outside of Japan, but you can still speak English, like, of course, like, that's good enough. But because you don't really know, like, the cultural context that goes into the language, you can kind of tell if that person learned English in Japan or in a language speaking country. You know what I mean? So yeah, if they're aware of like how culture works, I guess, in a language, then I'm like, yeah, I guess you've learned English abroad.
But, if you like only like study English in Japan, like there's no way to learn like how to use like slang or like like idioms.
The thing that I would say is like really obvious is like how people use like the F word. You can really tell if they kind of learned it through like media or something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think cultural context really matters too. And if that person learned that by just being in Japan or like any countries that don't really speak English, then I think that's brilliant. Yeah. I think I'm like thumbs up, like good job. And also, of course, like how different ways you can say one thing, like vocabs and like phrases, if you know a lot of phrases and vocabs. And like I think you can say this in like any languages, but like especially English, you don't really repeat the same word, especially essays. But like even when you're speaking, you don't really repeat the same thing like 5 times. You know what I mean? You insert a different word that means the same. So like if you know varieties of ways to say one thing, I guess that's one way to kind of know that you're advanced, pretty advanced. Yeah. So for me, that's those three are like the main thing that I look at, I guess. And of course, like accents too, but I don't really think accent matters that much. Like, of course, accent matters more than like grammar, in my opinion, because
yeah, well, I feel like as long as like you can communicate with like people, like persons, and then accent is like, it's not like something that you have to very like concerned about. Yeah,
because like if you hear like a thick French accent in English, you can still understand, right? The accent might be thick, but you can still understand.
Yeah.
So like it's okay to have thick accents, of course, but like stressing over grammar and like if you're creating a sentence according to grammatical excellence, I don't know, is not really that important.
Yeah.
Like for example, I don't know, like this is a pen, or but you can say like this me pen, this me. とか言ってもね, you can still understand. You're saying like, oh, that's your pen. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
Well, I get it. Like, yeah, I don't want to say that because, you know, like every like conversation will be like finished, but like it depends on like, you know, how like advanced you want to be, you know. Yeah. So if you wants to be like more like advanced level in English, then you have to good at like grammar or like accent as well. Well, like if you are very like the beginners and your goal is to like just communicate with like people from other countries, and I don't think accent or like grammar is something that you have to think that seriously, you know.
Another thing that's I'm not struggling with this, but I do think about here and there is that I don't have a lot of ambition to be better at it. You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of too comfortable in like the stage that I am right now, which is like that's nothing wrong with it, but I wish I was more eager to be better at it. Like especially when it comes to Korean, I'm at a level where I can understand like TV shows or dramas or like daily conversation without any like translation, and like I'm satisfied with that. Like I don't need to be better at it. Like I don't care to like understand like political issues or like, you know, those kind of stuff in Korean. As long as I can understand and can say some daily conversational stuff, I'm like pretty fucking satisfied with that. So I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like I need to be better at it. And that's one thing that kind of bothers me, because I'm like, I feel like I'm wasting my time, if that makes sense. Like I'm young, and like the younger you are, the better you can improve, of course, like language wise. And like, of course, like you can learn languages in any ages, but you can't deny the fact that the younger you are, the better you will absorb information. So I'm like, why don't I want to be better? You know? Like, I'm kind of too satisfied with it. English more so, I'm more interested in English than Korean. I'm more so talking about Korean right now, but I don't know. I'm satisfied.
Then
I guess it's a good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing. I'm not struggling or like, you know, I'm not nayanderu about this, but I'm like, I could do better. But the thing is, I'm not interested in doing better. So like, what a waste, you know? I don't know. Maybe I'm not competitive.
Well, you know, as long as you're such satisfied with your English line now, then why would you like have motivation to improve your English?
Yeah. I guess that's what's helping me to keep up with English, honestly, I feel like. Because, I don't know, if I was stressing myself to be better at it, I guess I'm like, my enjoyment would feel like a chore, maybe. Because I don't give a shit about my, like, proving myself anymore. I'm enjoying, like, when I'm watching movies or shows or whatever, I'm enjoying myself. And I can go with my own pace. Like, just because I'm not eager to be, like, an advanced level, it doesn't mean that I don't learn stuff, new stuff every day. Like, I still look up definitions, or I still look up ways I can say this or this and that. So having no pressure to myself keeps me going, I guess, thinking about it. So I guess it's a good thing. Yeah. I'm just ranting in this episode. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know because we were talking about our struggles.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
We don't have answers.
Yeah, if you have answers, that's not struggle. So
True.
I think we're doing good.
I guess. Yeah. Do you have any more struggles? No? You're satisfied?
Yeah, other than like having confidence, then yeah, there is no struggles. Then, as I said before, like I can just act as a professional. So
Yeah.
yeah, it depends on the situation.
Do you think your English improved by podcasting?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It gives you an opportunity to
Yeah.
speak English. Same. I have one way that maybe you can improve, or like maybe people can be more confident, is that I found a clip of me speaking English from 4 years ago, and I rarely have like videos or audios of me speaking English from like years ago, like 10 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Like, and up until I started podcasting, I didn't have any like audio of me speaking English. So I listened back to my English 4 years ago, and I can tell that my English improved. It's not a significant improvement, but I can still tell that, oh, back 4 years ago, I didn't know how to say this. So instead I said this, you know? Like, oh, I didn't know that phrase. So I was struggling to like explain myself, you know? Yeah, I can tell that I'm a lot more comfortable with my English, and like I'm speaking a lot faster and, you know, stuff like that. So like right now you have podcasts, so you don't have to do that anymore. But people watching or listening, I feel like recording yourself constantly could be one way to kind of build confidence and like, and see how you improve. Like, you know, like people get like, you know, confident and like pumped up when they can see the improvement. People get really worried when they can't see.
Yeah. That's
Which,
true.
yeah, I understand. I haven't felt the improvement since like 4 or 5 years ago, so I understand. But like, you know, I did improve. Like listening back to those audios, I'm like, oh, I did improve. Like good for me, you know? So I guess you can record yourself, like you do like an audio diary, or, you know, or maybe start a podcast.
Join us.
Yeah, join us. Or like do like a, you know, personal podcast. You don't have to like put it out in the public.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true.
So yeah, even like a year ago when we first started our podcast, when I listened back, I cringed so much.
Oh yeah?
I'm like, oh my god. Probably because I was awkward like recording myself. That's one like reason too. But like, yeah, I try to use words that I've never used.
Good for us.
Good for us. Good for us. We keep like switching, you know, cameras and angles. I don't even know how long we recorded, but I feel like it's a long episode. But anyway, that's our struggles. I hope some of you can relate, or some of you guys can be more motivated by listening to our struggles as well. Because like, I don't want you guys to think that we don't struggle. We of course we do. Like, we're not perfect. We don't have answers for everything. So thank you for listening, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.